we're taking a ride into the world of electric vehicles with an Aussie company planning to take on Tesla, would you believe, and bring Australia to the forefront of EV adoption. True EV is a startup on a mission, but they need help getting the word out. So we're sending KBB's PR and marketing expert, Samantha Dieback, founder of PR Hub, to pay them a visit.
Well, thanks for having me, Jason.
Oh, you're welcome, Sam.
Look, I'm really excited to learn more about True EV and the journey that you're on in the EV market in Australia. So let's start there. Tell me about True EV and where it began.
The founders of True EV have been having a long career in car sales. They started to learn that things were about to change significantly. The world was changing in terms of cars, the types of cars on the road, the colours even, but the way they're sold, the way that they're brought in and what cars actually offer people. So after a lot of research, really worked out that electric vehicles, smart electric vehicles, new energy vehicles were the future, and True EV was born.
So it sounds like you and the team are really committed to that idea of breaking down the barriers for people to understand what EV is about and have EV ownership in Australia, and I guess the benefits as well. So things like saving money and reducing emissions.
Yeah.
You know, what have you found so far in the journey to date?
Yeah, it's more than just selling cars, but there's a lot of misinformation in market.
What else is out there in the market, you think, right now where people are getting a bit of misinformation?
People talk about range anxiety, that if I buy an electric vehicle, I am not going to get to the supermarket and I'm going to be stranded. That's obviously not the case. Some of the brands that we've seen and that we're bringing in, that, you know, the range is up to 700 kilometres for a charge. So you see the technology coming through very quickly, faster charging, longer range, better quality vehicles.
What are some of the other things that you're doing in the business to bring the EV market to life in Australia?
Well, obviously the uptake is slow. So in Australia, there's 1.2 million cars sold each year, and only 7% of those were EVs. And the three largest selling cars were utes. Right, so there's a lot going on in the space, not so much with EVs, but we think it is about to explode. So we're going to see Australia's uptake from 7.2%, probably up to 50% by 2030 to meet Australia's emissions standards.
Jason, it's been great to hear a little bit about True EV, and you guys are definitely on an exciting mission to really bring that category to life in Australia. I think we can focus in a little bit more on dispelling some of the myths and also talking about how do we create awareness and education about this space in the market.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Welcome back to Kochie's Business Builders. It's time to check in with PR and marketing expert Samantha Dieback and Jason Clark, the Chief Executive of True EV.
So we've had a bit of a discussion, Jason, around the background to True EV and the exciting journey that you and the team are on in bringing the EV market to life in Australia. And from a PR perspective, there were three things there that stood out to me that I think we can touch on and talk a little bit more in detail now. From True EV's perspective, as a new and exciting emerging brand, it's very much starting with that brand narrative and story. So a great way to start with this is to actually bring the people together and unpack the history of the business, each of you sharing some points of view in and around what the business means to you and what its purpose is and where you're taking it with the vision, and then start to craft the stories that we take to market. And you might even want to engage a content writer or a brand strategist to help you sit down and do some what are called discovery sessions, where you can sit down, formulate an agenda, record it and transcribe the notes so you don't miss anything.
Yeah, I think that's important. The messaging, I mean, we're a new business. We've only been going a year. The messaging and what we're finding is changing all of the time, and this whole market is shifting really rapidly.
Yeah, and I think something within that piece as well, just to add, is that when you're working on that brand narrative and that messaging and that positioning, is to make sure that everybody in the business is across it, from the person that answers the phone to the person in sales or the person doing accounts, so that whenever they're talking to people about the brand, it's spot on. Yeah,
no, that's helpful. I mean, at True EV, we have to live the values of the company.
So once you've built that brand narrative and story, I think the great opportunity for True EV is that you've got this umbrella brand, if you like, this company brand called True EV, and then you're also bringing in some of the best international brands in the EV space. And so you've always got to think about the PR strategies as two separate things. There's True EV EV as a brand and building that and making sure that consumers know about True EV. And then also there's the PR strategy for the individual brands themselves.
Yeah, that's a real challenge for us. So obviously with the vision of True EV, that we've got to provide that education, support and the infrastructure for a high quality EV lifestyle. But at the same time, we've got to bring in well-known global brands at the cutting edge of technology and lifestyle into Australia and promote that brand as well under True EV.
When we were talking earlier in the car, we touched on the fact that there are some amazing benefits for consumers to actually adopt EVs. And we've talked a little bit about the fact that in Australia, there's certainly a rise in the sales of EVs, but there's a long way to go in terms of the global market. Speaking to you and learning more about True EV today has really stood out to me that you've got this amazing opportunity to own that space and be the market leader in Australia when it comes to all things EVs.
Yeah, you're dead right, Sam. I mean, that's amazing. I love that. That's exactly how we see it. Yeah, thank you. I think that is our opportunity.
Well, and building on that opportunity, and I'd like to come back to the team. One of the things that I think would be great for True EV is to have a look at the team and who you would like to use as key spokespeople in the media. Because you've got so many people with different experience, there's a real opportunity there to tap into some of the expertise, because people buy from people, and there's something magical around that human connection in the business.
I think you're exactly right. We've got this rich experience, but we take it for granted.
I have to say, I came here saying I'm not really a car person, but I think you guys might have changed my mind.
I think you're going to leave a great car person.
I think you're going to get a sale. Jason, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Sam. Been great having you here. Loved your insights. Enjoyed having you around and showing you the cars.
Samantha has some great advice there for Jason, and we wish him luck. Remember to check out True EV if you're in the market for an electric vehicle.